Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me here on my channel. Steven Sturgill. I'll be your host for the next few minutes. Taking a look yet at another tobacco-based scent today, guys. One I've been wanting to get my nose on for the longest time. Finally did. Got a sample decant. And it's this guy here. 40, I don't know if the camera can see that. 4160 Tuesdays. Dark Heart of Old Havana. So obviously this represents the scent memories of Cuba and sort of that type of those types of vibes and scents, imageries or olfactory associations, if you will, with the idea of being in Cuba, the memory of being in Cuba, the smell of tobacco, the smell of tropical fruit, maybe some chocolate or cocoa, this type of thing. So let's get into it. This was, again, done by the House of 4160 Tuesdays, which, if you're wondering, that represents, oops, that's the wrong button, represents the number of Tuesdays that you will get if you live to be 80 years old. And it was founded by Sarah McCartney. Oops, trying to get this window to close. Okay. Oh, come on, guy. Okay, anyways, so she's based in London, and she's from North England, Northern England, or whatever, wherever that is. I don't know exactly what exact city or village, but at any rate, based in London. This house, I don't know technically when it was founded, but the first known perfume from the house dropped back in 2012. I think her most recent, well, I'll take that back, may have been, yeah, probably 2018, it's saying here. There may be a new one. I think I read recently there's a new one or two in the wings fixing to drop, and I need to get caught up with those, if that's true, or just a bad memory. I'm incorrect. But as of date, there's 58 in the Fragrantico database. So they've done, she and I believe she uses other noses. I don't know if they're co-investors or partners. I don't know how that works. I don't believe she's the only nose for all of these fragrances, at least not to my knowledge. Now, she certainly has done a lot of them for sure. I don't think she's done all of them. Another one I've been meaning to get my nose on, and I think I just did recently, was Black Velvet, because I like oud and I like coffee, and so that's pretty much primarily what that's about. I think it also has tobacco in it. I'm not 100% sure. I think I read somewhere online that Black Velvet also has some kind of tobacco. Yeah, that's odd. It doesn't list it here in the official notes, but it is listed actually. If you go lower down in Fragrantica, tobacco is listed on both sides. The side where you vote for what you think you smell, and the side that comes ostensibly from their own research or their the scent profiles they're given from the houses themselves. So that also is somewhat loosely tobacco based. Although I think it's fair to say that Black Velvet is probably a lot more about the coffee and the oud, the woods and the musk and those types of. But it does have tobacco in it, so I definitely can't wait to get my nose on that. I do have that. We're not going to review that today. I'll not really be spraying this on today. It was my scent of the day yesterday. I will spray a dab. I'm already wearing a different scent for today. I don't want to confuse the two. Just to remind my nose what I smell. Now this comes out red or pink or some type of variation of that color. Be careful, that may stain lighter clothing. Not for sure. Just FYI, you may want to be a little bit careful. Yeah, now, what I wasn't in love with in the opening, by the way, let me just preface that with saying this is an excellent, excellent frag. Very well made, extremely top tier shelf ingredients. I mean, as far as my nose can detect, nothing in this came across as overly synthetic, nor would I even say synthetic at all. I I can't swear they're all natural, but I think, at least to my nose, this is about as natural as it is reasonably expected to get. Now, the tobacco in here, it's strong and pungent, and it's mostly like a pipe tobacco, but with no fruit in it. So it kind of straddles that. It could almost be cigar tobacco, but keeping in mind that it has more of that earthy, slightly sweet pungency, far more prevalent in pipe tobacco, or even snuffs to a point, snuff tobacco, than purely cigar tobacco, if that makes any sense. I wasn't overly fond in the opening of the sugary floral aspect. That's definitely prevalent. I don't know why I'm saying floral, but it's something that is like a very fruity mango floral type, amber type vibe. And I found that for the opening, it made me feel that this definitely skewed feminine. It's definitely unisex, don't get me wrong. I just feel like right out of the gate, I found it about maybe somewhere between 60 and 70% feminine and 30 to 40% masculine, only for about the first hour. And then after about the first hour, it started skewing back to center. And after about the second hour, some of that overly sugary, floral, fruity vibe, whatever, I can't really tell what's doing that in here. I mean, I can list you the notes, but whatever was causing that, that dies way down, or dies down a bit. It dies down enough so that the tobacco comes much more to the forefront. Never really, strangely, takes over entirely. It doesn't just, it's not just a tobacco-based monster, but I mean, the tobacco definitely became much more stage center after the 2 hour mark. But it never really lost that sweet, sugary, what is there, some grapefruit in here? Let me see, let me get the notes. I think there's some orange or something like that. Let's see, where oh, that wasn't my page. There it is. Okay. Yeah, there's, I would assume that the floral, yeah, this makes sense. So I'm thinking what the opening was that I was getting was primarily caused by a combination of the peach, the sugar, the grapefruit, and the jasmine, along with the vanilla. I think those were the main culprits. And if I had to really, really point my finger, just the two of those, I would say it's the peach and the sugar more than anything else, because I really, really love vanilla. I'm not saying I don't like peach. I've just always associated it much, much more so with women's perfumery. Peach is not really a go-to for most macho guys. I'm not saying you can't. That's not what I'm saying, guys. I'm just saying traditionally, peach is not used in male perfumery, hardly ever. Now, bergamot is certainly a go-to. It has bergamot, it has tonka bean, it has coffee. So you do get the coffee aspect in this fragrance. Strangely, though, I find that the coffee, it's tucked so well behind the tobacco that it's hard for me to differentiate. Now, I said chocolate earlier. For whatever reason, it's not listed, but I could swear I'm getting some kind of hidden cacao vibe in here. Maybe that's just my nose playing tricks on me. There's black pepper in here. That's almost non-existent. It's dialed so far back, it might as well be a non-entity. Again, I think there probably is coffee in here, but it's tucked so well behind, like an eclipse. It's tucked so well behind the tobacco that you may or may not get it. I kind of get the idea of coffee more than the actual robust scent of coffee, if that makes sense. So, in my humble opinion, don't buy this frag if you're just looking for a heavy hitter just based on coffee. I'm not saying it's not in here. It's definitely not the major player. You're going to get way more tobacco to my nose. You're definitely going to get the sugar, the grapefruit, the peach, the orange, some of the bergamot, some of the jasmine, undoubtedly. It's definitely get the vanilla and a little bit of the musk. This wears really beautifully on skin. It's an intimate type of scent. I wouldn't go so far as to ever call it a skin scent, except to say that maybe by the fifth, sixth hour and onward, yeah, by then it really is just a skin scent, but it's still going to have some carry and some pungency. If people get right up on you, they definitely will smell it. So I don't want you thinking of the skin scent just in terms that there's some skin scents that even if you get right up on someone's skin, you can only smell the faintest residue. This never performed that badly. I mean, you could really still smell it on skin, but it wasn't really effusing much past the fourth hour, if that makes sense. But had pretty decent projection onto about the second, maybe 2.5, all the way to the third hour. And then after that, it just kept dialing, very, very way back to somewhere between skin scent and a very, very modest scent and bubble. This is a very sexy, attractive, sort of gourmandish type fragrance. If you like tobacco, you like the idea of coffee, then you're right. And some of these other notes in here, please get your nose on this. This is absolutely full bottle worthy. These are handmade in batches of about 200 bottles, based on techniques from the late 19th century all the way through the early 20th century, meaning the 1970s. So old school all the way, handmade all the way, beautiful top tier, fantastic ingredients. This is just a lovely bottle, great look. You can get this in, I believe, 30 mils, 50 mils, 100 mils, or 90 mils. Maybe that part's wrong. It's either maybe 60 or 90. I think it's 50 and 90, something in that range. Maybe 100 mils, I forget. But I know there's a larger bottle that's really hard to source in the U.S. If you look around, you can order that from Europe. It may cost you a bit more, but if you're just a sucker like I am for larger bottles in most cases, you can get your grubby little paws on the larger size. You can also get, I think, a travel spray, or at least a sample size. And of course, if you look around, you can find decanters all over the web that will be more than willing to sell you a lovely decant of this stuff. Get your nose on it, guys. What a wonderful scent. That's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you like, please subscribe and click the bell for future updates. Spray often, spray well. Live life on your terms, and I will catch you on the next episode, guys. Peace out. Love you.